Hello Hylians! In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete all the shrines on the Great Sky Island. Now, straight up, right now, I'm going to say there are going to be a few spoilers. So if this is your first time playing the game, I'd say try to be very careful. You might have to be a little bit willing to see some spoilers. So, with that in mind, let's get right into it. So, to follow along with this video, there are a few things that I am going to expect you to have at this point in the game. I'm going to expect you to have the Purapad. I'm going to expect you to have these two quests, the Closed Door and Find Princess Zelda. And I'm going to expect you to be either close or at the first shrine, which is called the TotK Shrine. And it is right here on the map. If you zoom out on the Great Sky Island, then you can pin it if you don't know where it is. But it'll be close to the Temple of Time. Just know that. The other thing is that I am going to be doing all these shrines the Nintended way, which means basically the way Nintendo intended you to do these shrines. So with that in mind, let's get into doing the Ultra Hand Shrine or the TotK Shrine. So we're just going to speed through all this cutscene and stuff. It's a very slow cutscene. And we are going to walk into the shrine. Alright, so when you first get in here, Ralu's going to be like, hey, here's the first ability that you can have with your arm. It's called Ultra Hand, and you can move objects with it. So we're just going to get that now. This is why I said there's going to be some spoilers, because you're going to see stuff like this. And then I'm going to walk you through on how to beat this shrine in about 2 minutes. And here we go. So the ability to create. So this is our first shrine, the TotK Shrine. And pretty much how Ultra Hand works is if you press L on your controller, you will be able to move some objects around. And if you play Breath of the Wild, this is a lot like Magnesis, but on steroids. So what you're going to do is you're going to, once you walk into this part of the shrine, you are going to Ultra Hand this little thing here. And to learn the basic controls of Ultra Hand, L is to activate it, A is to grab it once you're on the thing you want to grab. You can use the D-pad to move it forward, backward, left, and right. Same with the stick and motion controls. And if you hold R on your controller, you can rotate it. So pretty much this first puzzle is about learning how to make a basic bridge. So we're just going to make a bridge like this. And you just line it up like this. And you can walk across. So our next puzzle is a slightly bigger bridge. Because the reason I said that it's like Magnesis on steroids from the wild is you can now actually attach objects together. So we will attach these objects together because this gap is bigger. And then we will put this bigger bridge on this gap and we can walk across it. Now, the next section is all about getting to the end. And now this one's more complicated. So pretty much it's going to give you some stuff like this. And this one's pretty simple. All you have to do is grab this stuff, grab this wooden board and this hook, and attach this hook to the wooden piece. And then attach this wooden piece, and you can rotate it if you want onto this pole thing. Get on it, and you can ride all the way down. And congratulations, you have just collected your first Light of Blessing and completed your first shrine in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Alright, so now for the second shrine, it is going to be the In Isa Shrine, which is located right here, just by this big lake. And so this is the Fuse Shrine, which is where you will get the Fuse ability, and it's a useful ability. So let's go ahead and activate the shrine. You can finally skip this cutscene, and we will walk right in. Alright, so we are in, and then Raru's going to be like, hey, here's the next ability. Alright, so this is the fuse ability, and it allows you to attach something to an equipped weapon or shield to enhance it. You can undo the fusion, but that will destroy whatever has been attached. And I'll just tell you a little bit about it, what I just said. And now I'm going to show you how to do the shrine. Here we go. So, the first room will look a lot like this. It will give you a rusty claymore. And you know what? I'm going to take one because I'm sick of these tree branches. So grab that rusty claymore. And now by default, you should have the fuse ability equipped. And we're going to see some rocks in this room. So what you're going to do is you're going to use fuse. And you're going to fuse this to your weapon by pressing Y. And there you go. Now we have a boulder hammer. And with that boulder hammer, we're going to smash through these stone pillars. And next we have this room, which has a few things. It has this rock pillar here. You can break if you want to get the chest. And in this case, I will. There's also that one that you can break for no reason. There's the chest. We'll open it. And you'll see we had just collected some arrows, which will be useful for this shrine. So now, if we move over to this room, I love breaking these. This shrine, or in this room, you will see some fire fruits. So we will go ahead and we can take this bow if we want. And it'll also tell you how to attach materials to arrows. So we will pick up these fire fruit next, because they're very useful. And you will need them in a minute. So next, you're going to fuse something to an arrow, such as these fire fruit. And we're going to aim it at the leaves. And in a minute, we should get the key. And with that key, I'm sure you've guessed it by now, all we have to do is just walk back to here, and we will use that key to unlock this door. And you just climb up a few ladders. And this is where it gets interesting, because now we have our very first shrine battle. So you're going to see this thing appears, and he's going to actually fuse something to his little sword there. And the easiest trick is to get him into the leaves, use another fire fruit, and just burn him. And now you can just finish him off with more arrows if you want. If you play Breath of the Wild, there should be some pretty simple stuff to you. And I'm just gonna eat some food. And now finish him off. And he is now dead. Or not. Goodbye. Alright. And we can take his bow, which is a construct bow. And he will drop his rock hammer if you need it. And we also got our Zonite charges, and that is pretty much the shrine. After you finish that battle, you can break these rocks. And congratulations, you have just beat the Fuse Shrine. Alright, so the next shrine is going to be the Ascend Shrine, or it's actually called the Gutenbach Shrine. And let's go ahead and open it and go into it. And now once we go in, Robbie's going to be like, hey, I'm going to give you this ability. Alright, and we just got the Ascend ability. And you can move upward through solid material and emerge on top of it. And Robbie's going to tell you a little bit about it. We can just skip it, and let's just go to Ascend. Now, when you get into here, you're going to see a ceiling. Simply just use Ascend and go on up. And then once you get on top, you will do the same thing again on a smaller platform. So you should see like two things you can ascend on. Go on the bigger one. And And then here we will have a battle with a construct. Pretty simple. And we just defeated the construct. We'll pick up everything. And now, I don't know why, but this puzzle always seemed to get me the first time I did it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut these ropes. And that's going to bring down this thing. And with that, we can ascend up. There we go. And then this one's more difficult because it involves using a moving platform. So just go ahead and ascend onto it. And then wait till it gets under the other platform. And then just ascend again. And you have just completed the Ascent Shrine. Yay! Alright, so now you are at the final shrine, which is called the Nachoya Shrine. And this is all about recall. And you should have recall by now, because when you went back to the Temple of Time, you should have gotten it from Zelda. So with that in mind, let's go in the shrine. Now, thankfully, this time we don't have to worry about annoying Rauru. So we can just get through the shrine pretty quickly. And it's pretty simple. So when you first get in here, you should see a boat going backwards. You guessed it, use recall to make it go the other way. So we're just gonna use recall, go back the other way. And then you can stop the water. The next puzzle is very similar. A raft should drop down a waterfall, and then you just use recall on that to, you guessed it again, go back up. And now this one is always like fun because you splash through the waves and stuff, and yet you still don't fall off. It's just so cool. And then we can get off. And then for this last part here, you just have to recall it so these two pins touch each other. So this one's more tricky because you have to use recall and get these two to line up. And it was really close. Oh, and you can also use Ultra Hand. And you can actually just technically just attach them together. And that just makes things so much easier. I don't know if that's the way they intended you to do it, but that's how I did it. And you've just beaten the Recall Shrine. And that's how you beat all the shrines on the Great Sky Island. I hope you liked this video. Thumbs up if you did. I hope you consider subscribing or at least checking out the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.